I always believed I had a good marriage. Emily and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5. We had the laughter, the inside jokes, the dinner dates, the quiet Sunday mornings with coffee and no words. We were, or at least I thought we were, the couple others looked at and quietly envied. But something changed. It was gradual at first, like a shift in season you don't notice until you step outside and feel the cold. Emily started going to bed later than me. She'd stay up on her phone, claiming she was just scrolling, but she always turned the screen slightly away from view. She became overly protective of it, carrying it with her everywhere, even to the bathroom. That wasn't like her. At first, I brushed it off. I told myself I was overthinking. Everyone has phases, right? But then she started dressing differently for work. More effort, more perfume, a new lingerie set I'd never seen her wear for me. She stopped kissing me goodbye in the mornings. I remember one time reaching for her hand in the kitchen, and she flinched slightly, like I'd surprised her. That stung more than I admitted to myself. It got harder to pretend. I'd hear her laugh at her phone, and then lock it instantly. Her work trips started extending. One Friday, she told me she had to stay an extra night for a training session. When I offered to drive up and meet her, she panicked. Said it wasn't necessary. Told me I should relax more and stop being so clingy. Clingy. That word echoed in my head for days. I wasn't clingy. I was her husband. I started noticing the quiet space growing between us. She was physically present, but emotionally absent. The woman I once knew so well had become a stranger living in my house. Then came the final nudge. One night, she left her laptop open while she went to take a shower. Notifications popped up, messages from someone saved as L. They weren't explicit, but they were intimate. One line caught my eye. I wish you were here in my bed instead. My stomach dropped. I felt my ears ringing. I didn't confront her. Not then. I just stared at the message, heart racing, feeling the floor tilt under me. When she came back, I closed the laptop and pretended I was half asleep. She kissed my forehead like nothing had changed, and I lay there with my eyes closed, suddenly realizing everything had. That night, I didn't sleep. I knew now. I just didn't know how deep it went, or how much worse it would get. I started paying attention to everything, where she went, how long she was gone, what she wore, and how she acted when she came back. I wasn't paranoid. I was certain. The betrayal wasn't just emotional anymore. It was physical. I could feel it in the way she avoided eye contact, the way she rushed her showers after getting home late, the faint traces of unfamiliar cologne that didn't belong to me. I made a decision. I wasn't going to accuse her without evidence. I needed the truth, undeniable and inescapable. I started with her phone. One evening, while she was outside taking a call, I used the opportunity to check her messages. Most were deleted, but she'd missed one. A message from L saying, "Last night was perfect. I can still feel you." That was all the confirmation I needed. My heart didn't break. It turned cold. Still, I wanted more. I hired a private investigator. I didn't tell anyone. Not my friends, not my family. For a week, he followed her. Every day, she told me she was working late. She was actually meeting him. Hotels, restaurants, parked cars in remote lots. Pictures, timestamps, receipts. All of it was documented. When the PI handed me the folder, I didn't even open it right away. I just stared at it, wondering how the woman I'd shared everything with could hide a completely separate life from me. I didn't confront her immediately. I acted normal. I kissed her good morning. I made her coffee. I asked her how her meetings went. She lied without blinking, feeding me story after story while looking me straight in the eye. The performance was almost impressive. Almost. What ate at me most wasn't even the sex. It was the fact that she chose him emotionally, too. The way she smiled at his texts, the effort she put into seeing him, the energy she once poured into our relationship now rerouted to someone else. I was her husband, but he was the one who made her light up. I started keeping a journal. I wrote everything down, the lies, the patterns, my feelings. I needed to keep my mind clear. I didn't want to explode. I wanted control. I wanted her to fall into her own web. I wasn't going to scream or beg. I wasn't going to accuse. I was going to wait for the moment she'd out herself, and when she did, I'd be ready. So I watched. I waited. I acted loving, supportive, even romantic. I wanted her to feel secure in her double life. I wanted her to let her guard down.
And she did.
One night, she told me she might have to go out of town again soon. I smiled, told her to let me know the dates so I could plan something too. She didn't suspect a thing. But I had already made my plan. I knew how this was going to end. And it wouldn't end quietly. It was a Thursday afternoon when everything unraveled. I was working from home when her phone rang. She was in the kitchen, and I could hear the vibration against the countertop. She glanced at the screen, froze, and slowly picked it up. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw her expression change instantly. Whatever was said on the other end drained the color from her face. She went completely still, eyes wide, lips parted. She didn't say anything, just listened. Then her hand started shaking. She dropped the phone.
Not in a dramatic way.
It just slipped, like her body stopped responding to her. I didn't say a word. I waited. She stared ahead blankly. Finally, she looked at me, mouth opening but no sound coming out. I asked her what happened. She swallowed hard, then choked out the words. He was dead. Her affair partner, the man she'd risked everything for, had died in a car accident. Just hours earlier. Driving late at night, apparently texting her on the way home from wherever they'd been. Lost control, slammed into a barrier. Declared dead at the scene. She collapsed onto the floor. Not dramatically. Just folded. Like her body gave out. I didn't move to help her. I just stood there, letting her sit in it. Her voice cracked as she mumbled pieces of the story, some directed at me, most of it rambling nonsense. She kept saying she didn't know what to do. That it wasn't supposed to happen like this. Then came the confession. It all poured out. How long it had been going on. How she'd fallen for him. How she thought about leaving me, but couldn't bring herself to destroy our life. How she believed, stupidly she said, that she could keep both of us. That no one would get hurt. I didn't interrupt. I just listened. She said they had planned to meet again this weekend. He was going to leave his wife. She was thinking about doing the same. All of it was in motion. Now it was gone. Now he was gone. And she didn't know what to feel, grief, guilt, or fear. She kept asking me if I hated her. I didn't respond. She asked if I had known. I nodded. Just once. That hit her harder than any scream ever could. She realized I'd known all along. That I let it happen. That I waited for this moment. The room went silent. Just her breathing, uneven and shaky. My face told her everything. I wasn't going to console her. I wasn't going to rescue her from the mess she made. This wasn't about him anymore. This was about what she'd thrown away, and now had to face alone. After the call, everything changed, but not in the way she probably hoped. She expected tears, maybe a fight, even forgiveness. What she got was silence. I packed a bag that night and left. No warnings, no dramatic farewell. I didn't slam doors or shout. I just walked out of the house we built together, knowing it was no longer my home. She called me dozens of times in the days that followed. Left voicemails. Texted long paragraphs alternating between apologies and pleas. She said she was lost, broken, that she needed me. But all I could hear in her voice was panic, not because she missed me, but because she was alone now. The man she gave everything up for was gone, and I wasn't coming back to pick up the pieces. I filed for divorce within the week. Clean, swift, without emotion. I attached the evidence the investigator had collected. She didn't contest it. There was nothing left to fight for. Her guilt had already crushed whatever pride she had left. We split the assets. No lawyers screaming. No drawn-out battles. Just quiet signatures on documents that made everything official. She moved out of the city a month later. I didn't ask where. Friends told me she wasn't the same. That she looked thinner, withdrawn. She quit her job. Cut off most of her social circle. I didn't care. That part of my life was done. I had spent too long investing in someone who saw me as a safety net while chasing a fantasy. As for me, I focused on myself. Therapy helped.
So, did distance.
I stopped trying to figure out what I did wrong and started realizing how much I let slide in the name of love. I rebuilt. Slowly. I didn't rush into anything new. I learned how to be alone without feeling lonely. I discovered peace in the quiet. I didn't need revenge. Her consequences were already living inside her. Sometimes people ask me if I'd ever forgive her. I don't think forgiveness is about saying it's okay. It's about letting go of the weight. And I did. Not for her, but for me. Holding onto the anger would have only made her betrayal last longer than it needed to. I don't hate her. I don't miss her. I just don't think about her much anymore. The truth is, the day she picked up that phone and heard he was gone, she lost everything. Not just him, but the version of herself she thought she could control. And when she looked at me and saw I was done pretending, she realized I was never going to save her. She made her choices. And I made mine. Freedom never looked so real.